All right, everyone, welcome to the team. The work you're about to start is so important, and honestly, it demands our absolute best. Think of this as your guide to getting everything right from day one. Let's jump in.
I really want to start with this, because if you only remember one thing, let it be this. Every single form you fill out, every sample you take, every conversation you have with a participant, it all comes down to one thing: trust. The community trusts us. The participants put their trust in us. The entire scientific world trusts us to do this work the right way. Your most important job, more than anything else, is to be a guardian of that trust.
Okay, so where does it all begin? Well, long before we ever meet a participant, every single study starts out as a blueprint. This is the planning stage. And an idea has to go through this really tough multi-stage approval process to make sure it's not only good science, but that it's also ethically sound.
Let's break that process down. It's not random. It happens in a very specific order for a very good reason. First up is the scientific review. The big question here is the science solid? Are we using the right methods? Only if it passes that test does it go to the next step, the ethical review, which is all about protecting people. And only when a study has proven its scientific and ethical strength can it go on to the final regulatory review. This order, it's non-negotiable.
So you have these two main committees at the start. You can think of them as having two totally different but equally crucial jobs. The Scientific Committee, or ISAC, they're focused on the what and how. Is the study designed correctly? Is the science valid? But the Ethics Committee, the IEC, they're focused on the who. They are the guardians of our participants' safety, their rights, their well-being. A study gets a green light from both, or it doesn't happen at all.
So once that blueprint is fully approved, we move out of the planning phase and into the field. And this is where the rubber meets the road. The success of the entire study, every conclusion we hope to make, it all hinges on the quality of the data we collect out there, day in and day out. This is the real craft of our work.
To really get what data quality means, you have to understand these two ideas. They sound similar, but they're not. Reliability means you get the same result over and over again. Accuracy means you get the right result. You see, it's totally possible to be reliably wrong. Just imagine a scale that's always off by 5 kilograms. It's perfectly reliable, it tells you the wrong weight every single time, but it is definitely not accurate. Our goal, the gold standard, is to be both. Our data has to be consistent and it has to be true.
Now this might be the most important tool you have for making sure our data is perfect. It's the Unique Identifier, or UID. Think of it as this unbreakable link that connects every single piece of information back to one specific person. Our system looks kind of like this: VV-SS-H-PP. It seems a bit cryptic, but it's super logical. VV for the village code, SS for the street, H for the house, and PP for the person's number in that house. With a structure like this, it's pretty much impossible to mix people up.
Now, when it comes to the data itself, we have some very strict rules for how we name things, our variables. Why are we so picky about this? Well, because a variable called Q5B_final is going to mean absolutely nothing to anyone in 6 months. But a variable named xer_daily, that tells you exactly what it is forever. This discipline, keeping names short, clear, no spaces, it's what keeps our data from turning into a confusing mess down the road.
So, while the database holds all the numbers, the data dictionary is what tells us what they mean. You should think of it as the master guide, the legend on a map. For every variable, like our xer_daily example, the dictionary would tell us it's a number, and that a 1 means yes, a 2 means no, and maybe a 9 means the data is missing. Without the data dictionary, our database is just a meaningless pile of numbers. With it, it's knowledge.
Okay, I really need you to listen to this. This is probably the single most important thing that happens in the field every single day. The supervisor has to check every single form for every participant before you leave the site. An error you catch today, that's a simple fix. But an error that's discovered weeks later during data entry, that can turn into a huge crisis and could even get a participant's data thrown out. We can't let that happen.
You see, our role goes way beyond just collecting data. We are the frontline guardians for our participants' safety, and that means we have to be constantly vigilant, and we need to know exactly what to do when things don't go according to plan.
So I want you to imagine this. Your phone rings. It's a participant, and they sound scared. They're telling you they're having a severe reaction, maybe a really high fever, a bad rash, trouble breathing. In that moment, your heart's probably pounding. What is the very first thing you do?
Before you answer that, you need to know this definition cold. It's a serious adverse event, or SAE. This is any medical event that's life-threatening, requires someone to be hospitalized, or results in death or a major disability. And here's the absolutely crucial part. It doesn't matter if we think our study caused it. If a participant in our trial is hospitalized for any reason, even a car accident, it gets reported as an SAE.
Okay, so back to that phone call. Here's your protocol. You follow these steps. No exceptions, no skipping. Step 1, you document everything the participant is telling you. Step 2, you get off the phone and you immediately notify the principal investigator. And I mean immediately. Step 3, the PI's team reports it to the ethics committee and the study sponsor. That has to happen within 24 hours. No excuses. The chain of command is everything here.
So why is this so incredibly urgent? It comes down to this number, 3. After 3 serious adverse events are reported in a trial, a totally independent group called the Data Safety Monitoring Board, the DSMB, gets involved. They review the cases, and they have the complete authority to recommend shutting down the entire trial if they think there's a safety problem. That tells you how much weight every single one of these reports carries.
This really brings us to our final and most basic principle. In every single thing we've talked about, from the approvals to the data to safety, there is one idea that ties it all together: adherence. Following the protocol. The integrity of our work, the safety of our participants, the truthfulness of our results, it all depends on us following the plan, meticulously. Adherence really is everything.
So what does that look like day to day? Well, it comes down to what we call good clinical practice, or GCP. This is the international gold standard. Think of this as your non-negotiable checklist. We enroll only eligible participants, not people who are close enough. We follow all procedures exactly as they're written, not our own version. We make sure every scheduled visit gets done, and we document absolutely everything. This is our standard.
So, when you zoom out, this is the journey. You can see it all laid out here. It starts with careful design and approval, then moves into the data collection and monitoring. That's where you come in. After that, it continues into data management, and then finally, at the very end, the analysis that hopefully answers our big research question. You are an absolutely vital link in this long and important chain.
I want to leave you with one last thought. It's really easy to get caught up in the details and start to see our work as just filling out forms or typing numbers. But we can never, ever forget that every single data point we collect represents a person. It represents their time, their willingness to help, and most of all, their trust in us. So as you head out into the field, I want you to ask yourself this question every single day. How will I honor that trust today? Thank you.